war is over if you want it. You guys gonna hang out? You can. I just don't want to. I don't want to interfere you. But who's gonna talk this morning? Yeesh. Okay. What is on my mind at this very moment is that I didn't put a slide up reminding you that next Sunday is our Christmas candlelight service, as well as having our Christmas potluck. And it will be, John and Natalie Albano will be doing the music. So it should be a lovely, lovely service. I wanted to make sure to let you know that. Reggie's brother gave him a car as a Christmas present. On Christmas Eve, Reggie came out of his office and saw a young boy admiring his shiny new car. "Is this your car, mister?" he asked. Reggie nodded in affirmation. "My brother gave it to me for Christmas." The boy was surprised. "You mean your brother gave it to you and it didn't cost you anything?" "Boy, I wish." He hesitated. And Reggie knew what he was going to wish for. He was going to wish he had a brother like the one Reggie has. But what the lad said was far beyond Reggie's expectations. "I wish," the boy went on, "that I could be a brother like that." For a few seconds, words failed Reggie, and then he impulsively added, "Would you like to take a ride in my car?" And the boy said, "Oh yes, I'd love that." After a short ride, the boy turned towards Reggie. His eyes were glowing when he said, "Mister, would you mind driving in front of my house?" Reggie smiled a little. He thought he understood what the boy wanted. He wanted to show it off to his neighbors that he could ride home in a big automobile. But Reggie was wrong again. "Will you stop where those 2 steps are?" the boy asked. He ran up the steps, and in a little while, Reggie heard him coming back, but he was not coming fast. He was carrying his little brother, who was physically challenged. He sat him down on the bottom step, then sort of squeezed up against him and pointed to the car. "There she is, buddy, just like I told you upstairs. His brother gave it to him for Christmas, and it didn't cost him a cent. And someday I'm going to give you one just like it. Then you can see for yourself all the pretty things in the Christmas windows that I've been trying to tell you about." Reggie got out, lifted the boy into the front seat of his car. His brother, whose eyes were gleaming with joy, climbed in beside him, and the 3 of them embarked on a memorable holiday ride. That Christmas Eve, Reggie learned what Jesus meant when he said, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." It is more blessed to give than to receive. It is so blessed to recognize love and to be open to be able to see love and to know love. Christmas is love. Christmas is love. The whole concept of the story is based on love. And coming to know that Christ consciousness that was born in this Christmas story through the name of the baby Jesus is the Christ consciousness that is born in us each day. It is us each day. It's always there. And it's also in every other person on the planet, in everything on the planet. The Christ consciousness is there. We get to choose whether or not we remember that. War is over if we want it. Within our own hearts, regardless of what is going on in the world, regardless of what is going on around us, we get to choose. That can be kind of challenging sometimes. When we're in the midst of some kind of issue, some kind of drama, or if someone's trying to draw us into their drama. And we get to choose to remember. And that doesn't mean that we don't acknowledge all of the shadow that shows up in the world. We get to see it. We're here at this time on planet Earth to be a part of the story that is unfolding. And we can choose to either push it further into the shadows or bring everything into the light. We have the choice to remember and to take action. Paul Tillich, theologian Paul Tillich, the first duty of love is to listen. The first duty of love is to listen. And it would stand to reason that our minds would, of course, go to listen to other people, to listen to those around us. But first, we have to listen to ourselves. And we need to do a quick check. Is my heart open to what is being said? Am I, in Heart Math, we talk about what is it that we're putting out into the energetic field, into the vibrational field. When I talk about breathing from the heart, of coming from that place where we're finding coherence, first within our own being, and then radiating that coherence and resiliency out into the world. It first has to begin with me. The first duty of love is to listen. How are you feeling about yourself? And from that place, to raise your vibration, get it into a place where it is first fit to be in the world. Or do I need to stay cloistered in my home today until I can get my own house in order? Right? But to listen, to love. In the Unity Advent book, I just about called it the Lenten book again. I do that, I'm always getting those two mixed up. We'll get to Lent later. But one of the stories in the Advent booklet, the woman was talking about how she used to always have a bumper sticker on her car that said, "Respond with love." She had it on there for years. And then she also brought it into her car as a note on her dashboard to respond with love. Every time she saw that, it just helped her. Little tools, right? Another tool for your tool chest, your spiritual tool chest of making notes. And many of you probably already do this. Respond with love. Mary Oliver, I tell you this to break your heart. by which I mean only that it break open and never close again to the rest of the world. To break your heart open. Love is Christmas. Do you know, are you aware that Christmas and Hanukkah are both on the same day this year? They call it Christmaka, I think is what it's called. Let me look at that. I'm saying it like, yes, Christmaka. Hanukkah begins on the evening of the 25th. And how fitting. It happens every few decades. But how fitting given that the Holy Family were actually Jewish. The Holy Family didn't know anything about Christianity at all. And how fitting that this year it comes together. Just one more little piece of the pie in the universe that is calling for our attention. Have any of you been noticing things that have been calling your attention lately? Last evening, my daughter called me to, we used to, before we were so fortunate to be able to get the new heating element on this side of the building, we had been using a space heater that had been given to me by my daughter and son-in-law years ago. And 2 ceramic space heaters. We still have them at the moment in the office. They will soon be gone. So my daughter called me and she said, I keep forgetting, I've got to let you know that it was either Friday night or Saturday during the day, my son-in-law had another one of those space heaters in his garage, and he looked over and it was on fire. Wow. Mm-hmm. And he was right there. The cord was on fire, there were flames. And he stomped it out with his foot. He got it out immediately. She goes, Doug kept saying, make sure you tell your mom that, you know, and we've had these heaters around for over 20 years, you know, close to 25 years. They've been very efficient, but they've also been well used and well loved. While she was telling me that story, and she always starts out those stories, first I have to tell you that everything's okay. And then she tells me the story. But as she's telling me that story, we've got fire trucks just gone down the street, one after the other. And I'm listening to her telling me the story about the space heater, and Doug's okay, and everything's okay. And I said, and sweetie, I gotta go because I got a whole lot of fire engines on the street right now. And they didn't keep going, they're stopped. So there's a house in that space between 25th and 26th on K, and neighbors told me that they're pretty sure it was abandoned, was in flames, had caught on fire. That's the third abandoned building here in town that has burned just within the last few months. I don't spread conspiracy theories. I haven't talked to the police. I don't know what's going on, but it appears that there's a problem, possibly with an arsonist or something. I don't even like saying that word. And I don't know, hear me, because this is going to end up being on YouTube. I don't know. I just know that it's very curious. And the bigger picture for when I bring it into me personally to pay attention to things that are going on is just that talking to my daughter and then having that happen at the same time. I am a person of signs and wonders. And things get my attention for me to pay attention to. That's really what I'm trying to say here. What in the world is calling to your attention? The tornado that went down Mount Herman Road in Scotts Valley yesterday also got my attention because my son-in-law's company that he works for is on Mount Herman Road. So, and other family live in the area. So the universe is speaking to us. The universe is speaking to us. Are we listening? And are we showing up in a way that is helping? Or are we showing up in a way that throws more dark energy onto whatever is going on? Again, we get to choose. We get to see what's going on, we get to pay attention, and then we get to respond to it. And to remember that love is Christmas. Every day should be a day that we are showing up in love. It's okay to feel both grief and gratefulness, to feel both sadness and joy, to feel both hope and loss. The emotion makes us real. And this holiday season, there is room for both. And I am reminded back into the story about Reggie and the two brothers and the new car. And the little boy was living in that place of both grief and gratefulness, joy and sadness. We all have those experiences, don't we? And when we are able to come from a place of knowing the beauty and the oneness and the power, then we can respond to life with whatever shows up in our way. So I would like for us to once again just take a moment and drop into your heart. And breathe from that place. Breathe a little more deeply, a little more fully. Exhaling more completely. And do that 3 or 4 or 5 times. And as we do this collectively in this room, we are expanding our love to ourselves, to each other, and to the world. And so it is.